Hello everyone, I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is a Dragonheir Silent Gods video. Today, I'm gonna show you how to defeat the Chaos Shadow, aka the open world boss on the lightning element and get maximum damage, guys. We're not gonna use any legendary champions whatsoever. Now, the boss here, of course, is no one else but Erich, the free legendary champion that we're all getting. The team that I'm running, guys, will be basically this. 2 rare champions, 3 epics. Now, initially, I was actually running this team. So I removed the legendary champion and got in a rare champion. I was doing it last night on stream. My damage before was 13.5 million damage. I think the maximum that I got with Tamarin here, of course. She's not scrolled and she's not necessarily the best legendary to do the job in here, you know? So I decided to use a rare champion instead, guys. And guess what? I have 0 regrets whatsoever. Quarian is absolutely amazing. It's easier to scroll. I do have all my elemental affinity stats maxed, guys. So I just want to point that out. If you've been playing for pretty much the same amount of time like me, if your server is as advanced as mine, most probably you will be at the same sort of level. I haven't rushed this by any means. And the main thing that I've done was just using it wisely. So I actually leveled up this first, then I left the resistance for the last. You see, I still have a few more levels here that I need to do because that gave me the least amount of value. So 150k points that I didn't use early on, basically, you know. That being said, my alliance bonus stats are maxed. You can actually see them right here. If your alliance sucks, is dead, change it, okay? Don't waste your time in an alliance that is not active, guys. It's very important, like in any other game. If you have a couple of friends in there, convince them to move with you or just abandon them because you can still be friends even if you're not part of the same alliance. Keep that in mind. Very, very important. People tend to forget to change alliances and it's very, very important. That being said, I do have a couple of legendary artifacts, the only 2 legendary artifacts that I have on my heroes, of course, and yes, they are helping me quite a bit. Now, I will tell you what replacements you could actually find to get pretty much the same sort of results. So instead of Rift Hourglass, you can use the Spiritual Incense Burner or, of course, the Ancestor's Candle, depending on what you need the most out of Quarian. How you may notice, I have 2 skill haste sets on him, and I have him tanky. So basically, you want as much skill haste as possible on the champion. But my runes completely suck balls, okay? 5 skill haste and no skill haste. So from here, I could easily, with better luck, have 60 plus skill haste, okay? Which will literally pretty much make my Rift Hourglass insane. But I don't have that, so that's why I'm using the artifact that I am. If you have more skill haste than I have, without a stress, use the Spiritual Incense Burner. It will pretty much give you the same result because you're still gonna use your skills very, very often. And he already has amazing cooldowns. 14 seconds, 8 seconds on the ultimate, 4 seconds, 9 seconds on the battle skill. So they're already going like crazy, you know. The 10% ultimate energy will be very effective. Irina, I do have the Witch's Remains. If you don't have this, use the Crown of the Unclean. And yes, this will drop your damage a bit, but hopefully you will still be able to have enough damage to reach the 22 million. Because I'm not doing only 22 million, I'm doing more than that, okay? So minus my a few extra million damage that I'm doing, with that will bring you to the 22. I just don't have enough accuracy on her to change that because I am using an increased attack speed aura here, basically. And I do have a bit of a preset as well. All my heroes are scrolled as well, guys, keep that in mind. But basically, this is the preset that I have on, you know? So 19 seconds on the other ones just to try and keep up with Irina when she's landing the defense down. I would like to move the defense down artifact on a multi-hit champion, but it's only Shagral and I honestly don't want to lose the damage from him, you know. I'll rather have that defense down being a bit less consistent, you know. So I've done a very smart move here, guys. Not to kind of like praise myself or anything, but basically I used to have a massive issue with this boss. He was destroying my melee heroes. Absolutely obliterating them. He has 2 AoE attacks, okay? And then he has the ultimate, which again is AoE. So he can be very annoying. So what I've done, I made my Catherine as the tank. How you may notice, I have no tank in this formation. Catherine is my tank. And how you may notice, Catherine being at the front line, the boss will target her. And what I've done again to ensure that the boss won't use the AoEs on my damage dealers, I brought in a second tank, which is Quarian right here. So they are in close proximity because the boss is already targeting her, and he will use the ultimates and the AoE attacks on these two champions. He will never touch my other 3 champions, guys, okay? Very, very important. But enough with all that. Let me show you the run, guys. So basically, Erich will target Catherine, and he will be blinded by her. He will be in love with her, you know, and that's it. He will completely ignore the 2 melee heroes that are whooping his ass, basically. Everybody thinks that you can only trick the boss by using melee heroes and tanks. That's not true. You can do it with range heroes as well, how you may see. I've always told you positioning is extremely, extremely important in this game. Irina, she's stepping up a bit towards the front because she needs to get closer to the boss. And then from here on, Quarian and Catherine, they will constantly heal each other. Quarian will give the smaller version of increased defense to Catherine. We're gonna get a bit of shield from his battle skill, a bit of extra healing from his passive whenever that procs, of course. And that will be basically the run. Shagrar, Shartal, and Irina doing the damage. Now, Irina doesn't do insane damage here, but Shagrar does a lot of damage, and even Shartal too. So definitely not too bad. Love the animation when he's using the hammer like that. You see how Erich is using all the AoE skills on the 2 champions there? The fire that comes from the ground and hits them, the meteorite. Basically, Erich got hypnotized, and that's it. He forgot about everything else. So as long as we're not getting resisted on the decrease attack, we should be fine. We gotta keep an eye to make sure that Irina, she's constantly using the attack down at the right moment. These bosses are not on 20 seconds. So every now and then, they might be using it at the wrong moment. So I'm gonna keep my mouse cursor right here to keep an eye on that, you see. I'm not gonna move it. And I'm gonna see if she's gaining ground or she's losing ground with her ultimate, you know. I would prefer it to stay the same. It's very hard. But the good part is that if you click on the timing, you can actually type it. So you can put 17.5 seconds, 17.6 seconds. You know, you don't need to... And again, she's using it at the same time. So we're not earning ground. We're not losing ground either. So we're spot on with her ultimate. And the best thing to do, guys, is to check how much skill haste you have available on your heroes. Are they able to use their skill fast enough? So keep that in mind as well. You've seen most of mine are at 19 seconds. That's because of the skill haste. And again, literally, I'm not losing ground. I'm not earning any ground with the ultimate. Always at the exact same click. And it's important to have it because like this, I'm trying to cover the ultimate and one of the battle skills with the decrease attack. That's why I have it there. And at the same time, the ultimate skill has a super slow animation on Erich, and the meteorites just drop gradually. And if you're putting the decrease attack too early, that will make the boss to deal a lot of damage because he will lose the decrease attack by the time he's finally dropping all the meteorites, you know. Very, very important to be aware of that. So we are at 16 million damage so far, guys. You see at them how they're constantly healing each other. They increase defense. Okay, we have the decrease attack, so that's very, very helpful. Shagral going mental again. Healing, beautiful. The boss using the battle skill, but at the same time, we had the decrease attack. We have the increased defense. That was actually pretty dangerous right there on our Catherine. The good part is that Quarian can heal pretty fast, you know. Decrease attack is on. We didn't have defense down on, which is fine. You see, most of the times we don't have defense down because I have it on Irina, and she's not very reliable to land it. You want to have it on multi-hitters. But hey, at the same time, it just proves you that you don't need the Witch's Remains, you know, because most of the time we don't have the defense down. Like, more than 50%, at least this run, we just don't have the defense down. So the damage from Shagral is much lower than it would normally be, you know. 22 million damage. We finally lost one of our champions, and that's because we didn't got to heal in time and we didn't have decrease attack. So from here on, everything will kind of like go a bit to shite because the boss is changing his focus on different targets. But we managed to get the 23 million damage, guys, which is pretty good. And this was a premature run. Usually it goes more, and I've done a couple of runs before where I reached 26 plus million damage, but that of course it got influenced as well by how often we were landing the defense down. Now I'll be honest, the main issue that most of you guys will have are the scrolls for the epic heroes. Okay, that will be the main issue. I actually had to purchase a $15 pack the other day to start using some scrolls on my team here, actually. Yeah. So you see, 10.5 million from Shagroll, Shelter with 8.1. We have Irina with 3.9. So she's doing fairly decent as well, guys. But let me quickly show you the builds on the heroes so you get a better understanding. At least with the tanks, you know, we got the 2,500 points, which is definitely a win for me. Because I'm constantly at these rewards now, the rotating ones. That's going to be very important to have as many teams as possible to allow me to collect as much as possible from the Echo of Clepsydra. I'm at 164k at the moment, so it's not the best, but I want to have a lot of it for the next season to be able to purchase a lot of goodies from the shop, you know. I wish they would have a filter where we're basically going to be able to see the most used champions. So no legendaries. We had no legendaries whatsoever. Catherine being the first champion. So I have her on a blue oak set, okay? I want her to heal as well. I have the Platinum Night Shield artifact and total stats 73k HP, 3.2k defense, 244 enlightenment, and as much skill haste as possible, guys, because the more she heals, the better. Very important to keep that in mind as well. But basically, I tanked her as much as I could, and I have this to counter the AoE attacks from the boss, you know, constantly having 20% damage reduction. Then, of course, we have no one else but Shagroll, the main damage dealer. He is built on a gambler set with the Eyeball of the Giant. Total stats, 55k HP, which doesn't matter. You've seen he's not getting damaged only when my tanks die. 4.6k attack, 77 crit rate, 200 crit damage. And I have 6 skill haste. The more attack speed you have on him as well is better. And of course, if I would have 100% crit rate, it would be absolutely amazing. But it's not going to happen anytime soon. Shelter, he has the Harpy Snail, which increases the passive skill damage. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's something different. Gambler set on him as well. And I do have a bit of an enlightenment. I would like more enlightenment on him, I'll be honest. Total stats, 59k HP, 4.5k attack, 85 enlightenment, 66 crit rate, 153 crit damage. I need to see if I can drop the crit damage for more attack or enlightenment. I need to see what I have on him. 17 skill haste. Then we have, of course, no one else but Irina and Quarian. So Quarian is from the Radiance. He has double skill haste set and total stats 70k HP, 3.4k defense, 45 skill haste with a Rift Hourglass 145. But how I mentioned, you can use the epic one, okay? You can use the lamp. Then we have Irina. She is on a gambler set too. And we have 47k HP, 3.6k attack, 78 crit, 120 crit damage, 200 accuracy, 35 skill haste. The more, the better, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, this is a team that can improve your damage. Maybe you're stuck at 7 million, maybe you're stuck at less damage, maybe you haven't even built a team yet because this didn't unlock for you, but this will give you an idea of something that you could potentially do to get some good results in here. That was all for the video. I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.